Hey everyone, I'm Armor Gaming, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Monster Legends. Let's talk about the December Legends Pass as well as the brand new monster, which you can already see he has an incredible monster design, as well as the new monster skin and everything going on in December. So, we have a new food boost up to 100% and a new gold boost up to 100%. So essentially the perks from the premium pass have disappeared. You can no longer buy the premium pass and they've essentially gone into the Legends Pass, which you can get the gold and the food boost. So much for me thinking that now I'd be able to place in the top 5,000 in the Gold Fever events. Doesn't seem like it anymore, if enough people buy the Legends Pass. And we have hatching time reduction 30%, extraction time reduction 30%. This is really going to help during the race, if we have a race, hint hint. Donation up to 3 legendary cells, building time reduction 30%, boost for gaining challenge points 30%. And then here we have the brand new monster. So you're going to be able to get him, 2 of him, plus 460 cells. I'm assuming one's going to be available free to play. And let me just say, he has an incredible monster design. I absolutely love it. I love that emblem right there that he has like as a necklace. I feel like SocialPoint could have made that emblem, whatever it is, into like the next generation of monsters. Like right now we have the Forsaken monsters and they have their own thing. But I feel like that could have been like the emperors or the kings or the beasts of Monster Legends, and then we have like an element, a beast for every element. Like there's a fire monster, probably like a giant gorilla or something. I don't know. Like that emblem, I really like it. Monster looks incredible. This is gonna be my first time checking out his skills, so it's gonna be like a full analysis, like a first reaction to the skills. So I'm excited about that. And then we have Thalassa. We have Thalassa, the Pearl Queen skin. And I gotta say, I actually like it. I think it fits a monster of this caliber to be like covered up with a pearl armor. I think considering Thalassa is so incredible and such a powerful, ferocious monster, I'm actually liking this skin. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I actually really like it. You get the animated Thalassa avatar. Some of you might have already seen it. You get an exclusive winter themed Legends frame that only lasts for the duration of the Legends Pass. And of course you get relics, runes, keys, war medals, orbs, nemesis and elite souls, and elemental cells. And let's see, elemental cells, nemesis souls, PP stamina, elite souls, rune speed, golden relic, and Ursus. So I'm assuming this is, yeah, so this is the free to play rewards. Elemental cells, nemesis souls, elite souls, rune, a speed rune, golden relic, and the new monster. And by the way, for those of you trying to get Thalassa, the Golden Pass also includes a discount on orbs for the Spotlight Thalassa Warmaster dungeon, so Thalassa will be available for the whole entire month. And the Spotlighted Thalassa Warmaster dungeon will have no ranked restrictions. So if you buy the Legends Pass and you're like a brand new player, you're going to be able to go through it a lot easier because there's no rank restrictions. So you're not going to need rank 3 monsters to finish it. And yeah, I gotta say, I love the design. And this new monster, it's crazy good design. Like, I love it. Looks so ferocious, looks incredible. I hope he is as good as he looks. So with that said, let's check him out. And look how adorable he is. Oh, you can barely see him, but he's so tiny and cute. Oh, I wish I could just keep him as a baby. Alright, so let's see what he has to offer. We'll read the whole backstory, then we'll get into the actual analysis. So Ursus and his older brother Wojtek grew up without their parents, but everything was alright because they had each other. When they were little, they played superheroes, and Wojtek even gave Ursus a red cape for his 7th birthday. That explains the little cape right there. So I guess he's 7 years old in that little picture right there. They loved fighting against each other and they dreamed of a future where they'd go out into the world as a great battle team. But one day, a monster with a long coat came along. He said Wojtek spoke for a long time, and after that Wojtek said he had to leave and go to war. Ursus didn't understand what was going on and all he wanted to do was follow Wojtek, but the answer was a very conclusive no. A monster with a long coat. I wonder who that could be. Listen to me, Ursus. You're going to stay taking care of our lair and all our stuff. Just like I've taught you. I need you to train in combat every day, and when I come back, we will join the big leagues together. I promise, said Wojtek. And right after that, he left. Months went by, years went by. Ursus spent every single day training, but his brother never returned, so he decided to leave the lair. He felt like his talent was being wasted, and he resented every day he waited. He started traveling and investigating about the war Wojtek had been recruited for. It wasn't long before he found out that his brother had lost. He began to think that his brother was dead, but then a monster went by the name of Herr Kommissar gave him hope. Wojtek, I remember him. We fought on the same side. He was such a ferocious fighter. that the winning side wouldn't have trusted him to keep his head down, so they sent him away to the cold mountain of the north. The last thing I heard is that he's let me scroll back. The last thing I heard is that he's no one ice miner under the control of the water legions. Ursus knew what he had to do. He thanked her commissaire and he started his long journey. He reached the mountains and started climbing. At the beginning, the thick layers of snow and ice almost ruined his mission, but little by little he learned how to control the elements and even found a way to make weapons out of ice. That explains that staff he has. It was tough, but he made it to the top, and just like her commissaire had told him, Wojtek was there. He was guarded by soldiers, but the minute the brothers saw each other, there was nothing anyone could do to stop them. They defeated all the soldiers superhero style, and he took control of the top of the mountain. I wonder, is Wojtek in the superheroes book, or he better be added after this? And of course, both of them better be in the family's book. Wow, little brother, you really did train all these years, said Wojtek joyfully. Who would dare to take the mountain from them now? Ursus is a water attacker with Pierce, damage boost, and extra turn abilities. That sounds really great. These decisive skills combined with his high damage makes Ursus unstoppable. He has an evolving trait. At rank 0 he's immune to freeze, at rank 1 he gains harden, at rank 3 he becomes a status caster who can protect his trait. And so here we have the analysis on Ursus. I gotta say that was a great, fantastic background story. Alright, but let's jump into the actual analysis. So starting off, this monster boasts a life stat of 37,700. In the water category specifically, this is the 6th highest life stat. Currently number 1 is Isol, followed by Crowdson, Warmaster Thalassa, Hukwai, and Thetis' bodyguard. After those monsters we have Ursus. And then as for his power stat, it is quite high, 3619. This is the 2nd highest power stat in the water category. Currently in first place is Stake with 3685. After that is both Hukwai and Ursus tied for 2nd place. So great power stat. And then we have a speed stat of 3421, which in the water category is tied for 8th. And even though it's tied for 8th, there's just so many monsters that have that speed stat and faster speed stats. With 3421 specifically, we have Isol, Hydrog the Forgotten, Polaris Sea, Mystery, Fampedia, Frostbite, General Thetis, Thetis' pet. So plenty of water monsters with this speed stat. However, Ursus is an attacker, so I guess the speed stat doesn't necessarily matter too much. What matters is that amazing power stat, and he has a pretty great life. And then as for his trait, as I mentioned earlier, he has freeze immunity, harden, and trait protection, and we'll come back to talk about these. The freeze immunity obviously helps against the water category, considering they have a lot of freezing capabilities. The hardened helps against everything, and the trait protection helps so you can't get trait disabled, essentially, right? You can't get your trait removed. However, we'll get into that. Because it definitely could have been a lot better. In terms of relics, he has the sword relic and the trap relic. So with the sword, you can equip anything to make him deal extra damage, like the Jakugan sword. And with the trap relic, this is really great because if for example you have the oblation trap and you take enough damage, you can drain stamina from all the enemy monsters. Or maybe you equip the trap relic that deals extra damage to the enemy monsters. So these are really great relics for this monster. He's in the Family's book, the Winter book, the Adventure book. I feel like he should be in the Superheroes books based on the backstory with Wojtek, but it is what it is. Alright, let's talk about his skills. He is not a monster with tier 4 skills, so tier 1 skills. Cold Roar deals low water damage to all enemies, 50% chance of applying freeze. No cooldown, it's spammable. Essentially, it's a 50% chance to freeze skill. You wouldn't really run this for the damage output. You would probably run this just for that 50% chance to freeze. We have Hibernating Ursus, which doubles the max life and applies life regen. Interesting that this monster has some sort of like tanky skill. Double max life and life regen is nice, but you gotta keep in mind that if you get hit with any sort of DOT, that's just gonna take away more HP because it's a percentage, so that doesn't really matter. They could also remove the life regen, they could also remove the max life, so it's a setup skill that doesn't really do much considering you're an attacker. You want your setup skills to do something that benefit your attack power. On the rocks, deals heavy special damage to one enemy, so this is 50 damage, 0 cooldown, spammable, however it does cost 25 stamina, so if you find yourself without stamina, you're not actually going to be able to spam it. It is, I guess, a counter to cooldowns activated. Moving on, we have Pierce Crystal. Removes all negative effects from itself. That's always nice, especially before applying the Pierce. Then it deals moderate water damage to all enemies and removes the Pierce from itself. That's pretty cool. We have an AoE Pierce. I don't know if we have... This is the first one that comes to my mind. I don't know. You guys can let me know in the comments below if I'm wrong. But this is the first one that comes to my mind that applies Pierce and then does the AoE skill. And in this case, it's an AoE 35 damage based attack. If you can somehow, someway partner this monster up with someone that can give himself some sort of hater, or some sort of buff, this is going to be amazing. Like in a situation where Ursus and Thalassa are both on the same team, and Thalassa is able to do Thalassa's Chosen on Ursus and give him triple damage to any monster that is frozen, Thalassa can obviously freeze everyone. So essentially, Pierce Crystal would be a guaranteed 35 damage, triple damage AoE against all of the enemy team, and that is going to be vicious. So in that situation, super powerful. Obviously, also if you can buff this monster with the double damage, I think this might be the highlight of the monster. The fact that Pierce Crystal is a automatic Pierce AoE skill. So you, again, if for those of you that aren't familiar with Pierce, you literally bypass anything. If there's a taunt monster, doesn't matter, you ignore it. If there's a mega taunt, doesn't matter, you ignore it. You can still attack everyone. If there's a dodge area monster, doesn't matter, you ignore them. You can still attack them. If the enemy monsters have a shield, it doesn't matter. You damage from their initial HP, not their shield. So you directly attack the monster. So once again, in the example with Thalassa and Ursus, I think they're going to have great synergy together, because you do Thalassa's Chosen to give this monster Freeze Hater, and then you freeze all the enemy team, and then you Pierce Crystal, and you AoE damage all of them. So I think this skill has the potential to be really powerful in those scenarios. Obviously, if you're in a situation where you can grant this monster triple damage, if you can grant this monster double damage before he attacks, Pierce Crystal is going to lead to some amazing combos. Moving on, we have Angry Ursus. Applies double damage to itself, applies precision and evasion. Okay, that's a cool, it's a setup skill. We've seen this with like, kind of like Back to the Damage with Martha McBlood. Although I don't think that one gave him precision, but this is nice. However, again, it's a setup skill. And what I do like about this is if you have a rank 3, thanks to your trait protection. Oh wait, no, I mean, for some reason I was thinking it was protect positive effects. What would have made this monster so much more powerful, so much more meta in my opinion, is if instead of hardened, if he could have had protects positive effects, I think that could have made him way better. Because let's say you do activate Angry Ursus, and then the enemy just clears it. You know, they cleanse, they get rid of your trait protection, and they get rid of your double damage position and evasion. That would suck. And I think there's plenty of monsters that can remove positive effects from the enemy team nowadays, so that would suck. So there's definitely going to be some setup required. Maybe if you can churn transfer to this monster, and then like maybe you have a main denier that denies, and then you have a churn transfer that, like for example, Sammy with speedruns, team speedruns that churn transfers to Ursus, and then you can do the setup skill, then it's Ursus' actual churn, and then you can attack with Pierce Crystal. That could be a combo. So there's definitely still some situations in which you can use Angry Ursus and Pierce Crystal if you have some sort of churn transfer monster. You just gotta watch out for anticipation monsters. But there's a chance. Moving on, we have a skill, let's see. Removes positive effects from one enemy, deals very heavy special damage to one enemy, and applies bleed. So 55 damage, 1 turn cooldown, 24 stamina cost. It is special damage and it removes any positive effects they have. So if they have evasion, evasion's gone. Skill mirror is gone. If they have taunts, the taunt is gone. Mega taunt is gone. You know, it removes the positive effects. It's a pretty basic skill. 55 damage. I don't think it's too much. I don't think it's really very heavy damage, but I guess it is. And it applies bleed. Let's move on. Frost Harpoon applies freeze to an enemy. Deals moderate water damage to all enemies. Okay, so we have another AoE skill that is actually a single target skill in terms of damage, or in terms of the effect. So against a dodge aerial monster like a Wormlad, you would be able to freeze the Wormlad and then deal water damage to the enemy team. So that's pretty good. I kind of wish this would have also done the applies pierce, removes pierce, because then you would have been able to target whoever you wanted to, right? How cool would that have been to be able to target Wormlad even if there's a Megaton monster on the field? So as it is right now, it's okay. It could have definitely been way more game breaking, but it is what it is. We have Greedy Ursus, which applies damage boost to itself, gives 1 extra turn to itself, 3 turn cooldown, 20 stamina cost. So this is cool because Greedy Ursus and Pierce Crystal, that is going to be quite powerful, because it's instead of a 35 damage AoE, it essentially becomes 50% stronger. So what is that? Extra 17, so like a 52 damage AoE. That's pretty powerful. I wish it would have done more though. I wish it would have given himself evasion. That way, because there's so many anticipation monsters in the game, like they can potentially counter you, they can potentially hurt you. If there's a Faraday, he's gonna deal some serious damage to your Ursus. If there's a Ragnarök, oh my gosh, Ragnarök can do so much. I wish this could have done more. This is kind of like an old sort of buff extra turn skill. Like I think of Sherlock. Sherlock can give herself double damage in an extra turn. I wish this would have done more. Even like an increased accuracy would have made me feel better. yeah, damage boost and evasion would have been the best thing for me. So I'm kind of iffy. Like, I get it. I think the reason SocialPoint isn't doing too much to this monster is because that pierce mechanic is too powerful to be able to be like, oh, we're gonna give this monster evasion and damage boost, and keep in mind he has trade protection and this. So I kind of get it. But yeah, I'm kind of like on it right now. Ice Claws applies pierce to itself, deals very heavy special damage to one enemy, applies bleed to all enemies, removes pierce from itself. So this is essentially an upgraded version of the slash skill. And now, because we deal 5 more damage, it actually gives himself pierce, so that's awesome. Oh wait, this one, no. This one does not remove positive effects from the enemy. But you give yourself pierce, so it's kind of the same thing, not really. It depends on what they have, right? Obviously, they have life regen, stamina regen. You would want to do slash to remove their positive effect. But if they don't have that and they just have evasion, you want to just pierce through, deal the heavy special damage, and apply the bleed to everyone. So that's cool that it's an AoE bleed, essentially. And this one does not cost any stamina. So if you find yourself without stamina, and that is very possible if you attack the enemy and their level 1000 Ablation Trap activates, cool, you can still do Ice Claws. It has a 2-turn cooldown. And keep in mind, if you do the Greedy Ursus first, you will boost yourself. So this is essentially a 90 damage pierce skill that doesn't cost any stamina. That is awesome. If you view it that way, if you do Greedy Ursus first and then Ice Claws, that is super deadly. So, well, let's read the ultimate. Permafrost applies pierce to itself, deals heavy water damage, and Mega Freeze. That's awesome. Awesome ultimate. I'm iffy on this monster, so I don't like him too much, but I also love him, if that makes sense. When I see the skills, I'm like, they're really not that amazing, right? Yeah, he has some pure skills. Yeah, he has a damage boost extra turn, but so much anticipation. You got to think about the meta and whether or not you can counter the meta. And with Ursus, I don't think so necessarily. Like, his skills aren't anything too flashy. But then the skill that sticks out to me the most right now really is that Pierce Crystal skill. The fact, again, you guys have to let me know in the comments below if there's any monster that gives Pierce and then does AoE damage. I feel like Ursus might be the first one. And if that's the case, I think it can deal for some very interesting tactics, running him like 3 strength. Again, running him with Thalassa in particular to Mega Freeze everyone and to deal some crazy damage. Like, I'm liking that. And let's talk about his trait, because now that I've gone through the skills, I can talk about the trait and some of the monsters. So Thalassa, considering he's a water monster, he's going to encounter Thalassas. Thalassa, unfortunately, can still deny Ursus. I kind of feel like the trait protection was a way to counter Thalassa. But the thing is, Thalassa has a skill called Abyss Bottom, which removes positive effects, and then trait disables, and then freezes. So if that's the case, because it's a status caster trait protection, you would lose your trait protection, so then you'd get trait disabled, and then your freeze immunity would be gone, so then you'd still get frozen. So that would suck, unfortunately. It would work, Ursus would work if you had a top monster on the team, because then Thalassa would have to target the top monster first, right? Unless Thalassa does Plankton Eater on the top monster and gets rid of the top monster's taunt and then Abyss Bottom on Ursus, so it still doesn't work. But in the situation where for whatever reason Thalassa doesn't do Plankton Eater, well then yeah, if they do Abyss Bottom on your top monster, let's say Brutalis, thanks to your freeze immunity you won't get frozen. If Thalassa just does a regular AoE freeze, you won't get frozen. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, you can't get your trait removed. I really wish instead of Harden for rank 1, it would have been positive effects protection, because this monster has a lot of buffs that it would be nice to not get removed as well. Yeah, I mean, that's my only thing. I really wish it was positive effects protection instead of the trait protection necessarily. I think that would have been a little better. Again, but going back to some combos, the Greedy Ursus with Ice Claws, that is such a powerful skill, has the potential to OTK 90 damage. Again, you do gotta watch out for anticipation monsters, which there are plenty of. I mean, even Hukua is a water monster. He's in the element. Same power as Ursus, so they're gonna like combat each other. Pierce Crystal is the most interesting, like I mentioned. Angry Ursus, the double damage, the precision, the evasion. That could be interesting with the right synergy, with the right combination. So I kind of love him. I'm kind of iffy. I want to hear your guys' comments. Monster design, I am absolutely in love with. Skills wise, but I think in the right combo team, I think he can do really well. So I don't know, I'm kind of iffy on him. That's how I'm gonna leave this analysis. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about Ursus? Any thoughts in the comments below? Thank you very much, and I will talk to you all next time.